Good morning. Welcome to another opportunity to talk with Ken and Dennis from the John L. Scott Columbia Basin Region team. And Dennis, I have to tell you, I've had a lot of questions again this week from different agents, different firms, and they're like, what sets us apart from all the other firms and how we do things and how we help support our agents? And I'm going to ask you, Dennis, what do we do to support our agents that's different than most other firms out there?
Everything. Okay, well, let me explain that. When we got together as business partners to form this Columbia Basin region, we had a long discussion about what the future would hold and how we were going to do exactly that.
Correct.
And it's nice to have people that are not agents, as well as agents, come and compliment us on, what are you doing differently? Because they notice in the community. And so when I'm talking with prospective agents, there is maybe 3 or 4 categories that I really spend some time on that I think set us apart. And for example, I think one of the main things is the education and the mentorship. I mean, you and I both teach, right?
Correct.
We're trying to educate the clients, being future agents or agents, in regards to real estate, in regards to the financial process of real estate, in regards to how we handle our clients. I mean, you take people through
the whole package.
Basically the whole package. You take people through the ultimate client relationship. You take people through the forms. I do some different things on a level of, interest rate movements and how it could affect the home buying process. But together, that
covers the entire spectrum.
It does. And it's a huge piece of what we do that many, many people that I talk to, don't get that, with other firms or without. So it really sets us apart as far as that's concerned.
So like, for instance, one of our recent people that came over to our firm, first thing that they said was, holy cow, in a week, I've gotten more information than in 3 years with the previous firm. And that's one of our goals. We want to be here to help them make sure they have all the tools to be able to support all of the clients that they come in contact with. And not every firm does that. So
evidently not. And that was a heck of a compliment. You know what? It really was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I know that you and I enjoy what we do, which is another part of it. Helping agents learn to be better at what they do, take their natural talents and skills and help them with that. Watch that when it works, helping the clients be able to get the homes that they're wanting or sell the homes they want. It's really actually very rewarding for you and I to do that.
It really is. And somebody was asking me actually this week, we had some people that came over from our corporate office to do some training and that type of thing. And so one of the things that they asked me and afterwards was, Dennis, what's your why? And I said that our why is to help business owners, i.e. the agents, to be successful in their chosen field, which is real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a number of ways to do that, and education is just part of it. The other part of it is to give them the time and the tools in order to do that.
Very helpful.
And so,
actually critical, not just helpful.
Yeah, exactly. So, for example, we're a full service agency, and that means that we have a full marketing department to do the graphic design and the videos that we're on today, and some other things that it takes to promote real estate and the agents brand within the brand of John L. Scott. We have a full transaction coordination office to follow the transaction, the paperwork of the transaction from start to finish.
Correct.
And then as we spent a lot of time on Wednesday with our corporate officials that came over, it is the new and the exciting things that are coming down about technology and the promotion of technology to make us, I guess, stand out even more than we do in regards to that technology. And so
John L. Scott has always, one of the reasons that Dennis and I both went to this corporation when we were going out on our own to start these offices nearly 20 years ago, and coming up on like 12, 15 for you at that office that you started first. But the point is that we already saw John L. Scott as a corporation was so far ahead of all the other franchises, realizing how important technology is. And I know you and I both are old enough to know that it wasn't always as technologically advanced as it is today. But when you look it up, just go. Anybody that's listening to this, who sees this, go look up johnlscott.com. Take a look at that and see the technology that they have available. In the Seattle area, for instance, they are always number one in getting the new stuff out there and getting it right. And the thing that, Dennis, that I wanted to bring out that you mentioned earlier here is we had the corporate vice president out here last week, spent a whole week on the road just going to offices over here on the eastern side of the state so that he could let people know the new things that are out there. Not just somebody in the department get you on a video or you log online live from. They actually got in their car and drove out here and made presentations in person at our office. That's the kind of corporation that John L. Scott corporate is, and we get that advantage right here for us. So Walla Walla is just as important as Seattle, Washington. And they back that up with people, not just the technology. The technology is incredible, but it's nothing quite like having that person, a vice president, gets in his car and drives out here and says, this is important. We want to help you guys.
I think this is related. So I'm going to ask you a question in regards to what were the 2 or 3 things that convinced you to sign that franchise agreement?
Yeah, that's a great question, Dennis, and I'll be happy to answer that. So when I decided to leave a large firm and a large, well-known name, the people that owned the franchise were great people, and they actually appreciated my work. But there was a point where I decided it was time for me to be an owner. Not everybody wants to do that. I did. And so anyhow, I looked at 4 different franchise opportunities, and they all kind of just were the same. They all had the same pitch. They all had reputation. But I actually knew the owner, Lennox, personally, and ran into him at a conference and told him he didn't have an office here, told him what I was thinking. And he said, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I just came out of a meeting with my people, and we'd like to talk to you because we'd like to have an office in Walla Walla.
Fantastic.
So I did that. I went and met with them, and my wife and my business partner said, oh my gosh, I think we found our franchise. And we have never regretted that decision nearly 20 years later. To this day, we get still the same support that we did when they were recruiting us to put in an office here in Walla Walla.
Well, what were they specifically offering? What was that? What was those items that wow, this is the firm specifically?
Right. All of the stuff that they had, especially in the technology area, was great, was better than everybody else's. Some areas a little better, some, miles ahead. But the bottom line was, Dennis, they provide that for us every day.
Right.
Okay. They don't charge us. They don't say, fly out to New Jersey and spend thousands of dollars and we'll teach you that with one of our, they send their people here. And they helped us.
They didn't say Walla Walla where?
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I had to convince them was that the roads are paved all the way to Eastern Washington, not just to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, right.
But that was really the number one thing. Seriously. And it hasn't changed. Those people are still doing the exact same thing today. We pick up the phone. We need something. If they need somebody out here to help us, they send somebody out to help us. And every agent has that same kind of capability with us. Every one of them.
The reason I brought up the question is because our agents are also looking, and our prospects are, or other people are looking maybe for a change or a resource, and they're doing the same thing. They're setting up their business within a business. We do have contracts, but there has to be something compelling, right? And you mentioned technology, so I won't repeat it. But for me, there was two other things. And I used to joke with the then director of franchise development, and by saying, every time I have a question, you don't have to fly over or drive over to the Tri-Cities to answer it. Okay.
No, I know who you're talking about too, and he was phenomenal.
He was phenomenal, and so forth, and as is the current director of franchise development. But what it showed me was relationships, and relationships were very important. And we talked about that when we were forming the companies together and that type of thing. The other one for me, and I already mentioned it earlier, but the other one for me was education.
Oh, outstanding.
And the library and the amount of information that is on our agent's desktop is amazing, and it's free. And so those were the things that really compelled, me to sign that franchise agreement. So,
yeah, and I'm going to jump in right here because just yesterday I was doing our Thursday class where we have with Zoom. We do it with all of our offices.
Right.
We have that class every Thursday morning, and I opened up one icon on the dashboard, just one that no one actually knew what it was. Its title is a little, I opened that up, and I spent the next hour and 15 minutes on that one icon, because when I opened it up and they saw all the marketing things that were in there, all the promotional items, okay, I clicked on the promotional. That was one of 11 things that opened after I opened the first page.
Right.
That's one icon.
Right.
Okay. There's 12 on the dashboard. There's 57 in the menu. Okay.
Right.
So, and every bit of that, every bit of that is free.
Yeah.
And they're all like deer in the headlights kind of a look. They're like, really? And didn't even know it was there. All of this is at all of our agents' fingertips, and it does not cost them an additional dime.
Right.
Okay. So it's fascinating. Again, being with a previous franchise, as you asked me about what brought me over, that alone would be enough right there.
Yeah.
Not counting all the other support we get, but just that support to literally right now at my fingertips, I can create something on my desktop, print it, and walk out the door with something that's more professional than I could probably even get done here in town. And it's free.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I'll let you sign off, but I want to make a comment first. And that is, if you have to summarize these last few minutes for me to whoever's out there listening to us today, it is about relationships. It is about support of the agents to be successful. And it is about living our lives as a contribution.
It's the core belief of the John L. Scott, from the owner of the franchise down through all of the people that work there, to all of the people that we associate with. It's absolutely the core. Living life as a contribution. You cannot do anything better than that. It's what you and I believe in. It's what makes us so happy to be part of that John L. Scott franchise. And we actually really enjoy talking to people and having these conversations in person. So if you're at all interested in talking to Dennis and I, we'll make sure that at the end of this, our names and our contact numbers pop up for you. We love to talk to you, even if all we do is just get a chance to meet you, because we really believe, Dennis and I believe wholeheartedly in what John L. Scott stands for in these communities that we work in. And we'd love to have a chance to talk with you about it. We're grateful that we have the opportunity to be part of the team.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks for listening.